Welcome back to Just Saying. Today I'm talking with someone who knows what it means to walk through struggle and come out on the other side with some strength. Amy Lenius is the director of group coaching at Next Level University, a certified holistic self-improvement coach, speaker, and event host. She's also someone who's been navigating chronic illness since she was very young. But instead of letting that define her, she turns it into a journey of healing, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Today's Amy's here to share how she helps people rebuild self-worth, rediscover purpose, and create a life that feels aligned, peaceful, and powerful. Let's dive in. Hey friends, welcome back to Just Saying. Okay, I'm here with Amy Lenius, director of group coaching at Next Level University, and she's a certified holistic self improvement coach, speaker, and an event MC. Wiki. No, I'm just teasing. Welcome, Amy, to Just Saying.
I wish I were that cool. I do. You made me sound really cool there with the DJ vibes.
Getting up in front of anybody to speak with a microphone is really intimidating to me because I know when I was in high school, I was the rally commissioner 1 year in my school. So you have to get up and talk and say stuff in front of all your friends. And it's embarrassing. I don't know how I'm doing a podcast because I don't like to talk in public. So being an MC is you got some cojones, I guess. Can you say that? I don't know.
I think so. I think that's a great description. I'm here for it. I agree. It's one of the hardest things to do. And I think actually if anyone wants to get into speaking or practice speaking, I think that's why I like podcasting so much, because it feels like just a easier barrier entry, whatever that saying is, because it just feels like it's just you and I, right? It just feels like we're having a one-on-one conversation because we kind of are. Doesn't matter how many
Well,
people
Amy,
listen afterwards.
just a disclosure, there's probably 12 people going to listen, but whatever. It'll be between you, me, and the 12 other people that are probably listening to my podcast. My mom, my cousin.
Well, hi, family. I love that so much because even when people say, oh, I only have 12 listeners, I only have 20 listeners, I only have 50 listeners, that's amazing. Have you ever gotten up in a room and stood in front of that many people and tried speaking? It's really more challenging than people think.
Encouraging coach. Just I love you, heart. I actually interviewed Alan. You work with Alan Lazarus, right?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah, I think he's episode 6. So all of you go back to episode 6 and watch that. But yeah, he's a trip, dude. He's funny as all get out. And he was very gracious with he was one of my very first, because I think I did 2 by myself and 1 by this other person. Then I did an episode with him and I was like, oh my God, he was so nice to me because I was so new. He was like, I try not to, I do this a lot where I step over my guest. I'll jump in really fast because I want to say something. I was like, damn it, I can't do that. I got to stop doing that. Well, anyways, I want to introduce you because I think my listeners would get a lot from you. I mean, you suffer from a chronic illness, but yet you're so resilient and you just keep trucking along, and you're a mommy and you're doing all the things that, all of us moms are doing, but you've got a little added extra kind of a thing. Could you tell us a little bit about, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about that?
Not at all. I can go as far back and as much detail as you need. Yes, I do work with Alan at Next Level University. He's the co-founder and CEO. The dude's my freaking idol. I love him so much. So I'm so excited that I get to follow him in an episode. That's really cool. I love when the 3 of us get to go on the same show. So you've had Alan, you've had me. Now you'll have to go collect Kevin so you can collect us all.
Yes, Kevin.
And so my journey actually begins, when I was very sick. I grew up with a condition called endometriosis, which is a female-driven chronic pain disorder, causes a lot of inflammation, all sorts of things, very hormonal imbalance, painful periods, but even lots of pain in between your cycles. It can affect your nerves, it can affect your gut, it can affect all sorts of different things. And so I went through quite a process of the medical system of just medications, surgeries, all sorts of things. And then in my early 20s, I started to just have this moment of clarity where I was like, you know what? I'm so tired of feeling sick. And I'm taking all of these things and I feel extra sick now and still have pain. And now I'm getting side effects from all the, hormone therapies and the birth controls and the pain medications. That was a whole thing. And so I was like, you know what? It's just, I need a moment. I need a minute I need to come off of everything just to get myself familiar with
A
myself.
deep
Yeah, so I
like a
did. I
deep
came off of everything safely. It's a process for sure. Came off of everything safely and just had a moment where I was like, "Okay, let's just see what happens. What's serving me? What isn't? Where is my pain level at compared to with these medications?" And it was a whole just time of exploration. And I ended up getting really creative with it. I went and just found all sorts of random different therapies like acupuncture and cranial sacral therapy and massage therapy and physiotherapy. I got to do all of these amazing things. And I found an incredible naturopathic doctor as well who really helped me paint a picture of the wholeness that is us as beings. Now, I currently was in school at the time myself. I have an anatomy and physiology background. So, between my sickness, my own anatomy and physiology background, and everything I learned partnered with this naturopath, I was able to really do some incredible things. I am completely pain free from a condition that I was told I would have forever and be pain
wow.
forever. I was told I couldn't have kids. I have two beautiful children. It was the reason I fell in love with the word holistic, genuinely. Holistic meaning everything affects everything else. Because when you go to the doctors and you say, "Hey, I'm having problems with XYZ," and you're a woman, they're like, "Oh, it's your uterus. Done. Let's either fix it, take it out, let's do something with it." But in reality, what helped me was understanding that our bodies are communities, inside and out. We have an internal community that works together and functions together. Your liver, your gut, your stress, your sleep, everything all comes together. And then that interacts with your external environment. And your external environment matters just as much for your health as your internal. And I had to go through all the processes of healing each one of those layers internally and externally. And it really, I mean, it took time. Everyone always asks me, "Well, what was the one thing? What was the one thing that made you feel better?" No, it was a lot of things spanned over a decade, which doesn't sound sexy, but was it worth it? Absolutely. Were there some highs? Were there some lows? Were there some sad moments where I felt like nothing was working? Yes. But the whole journey was so worth it, and I still have to do things every day for my health and to pay attention to my hormones and to make sure I'm doing the things that I need to do. I mean, I probably unconsciously do at least a handful of habits every day now for my hormone health. And so it's something that I've had to just integrate it, have become a part of my identity, but it was a worthwhile journey to be where I'm at now, for sure.
Everybody's different. I'm just interjecting because I have, I swear. So I swear, first ladies out there, this is good conversation for all you men. You can put your earmuffs on, but so like I haven't had my period since like 2015. Like, hello, where's my menopausal medication? And I tell my doctor I feel like I'm in menopause and I'm hot all the time and just I get out of the shower, I'm sweating. I'm like, what the F? Like, that's not right. And I eat and then I sweat. I'm like, what? What? Why is this not shedding the pounds if I'm sweating all the time? And so, but I asked my doctor and he's like, no, 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 you're not in menopause. No, no. And I'm like, you're lying. And I just feel as though my body is not the same as everybody else. And obviously, I'm having signs that I am. And he just needs to get out of his little out of his diagram and data where it says my numbers are fine and get into the fact that I'm trying to explain to him that I'm not the same. I had my period when I was 9 years old, so I had it early, and, but I just feel like every body's so different and modern medicine sometimes gets it wrong is what I
They
feel.
really do because they have to have such a broad spectrum, right? And so it's wild that there's not enough discussion around it. I feel like we're getting better than ever. I genuinely do. And I actually do encourage the men to listen because if you have a female counterpart, if you have an intimate partner or someone you live with who's a woman, it's important for you to know. Genuinely, because she's
Yeah.
going through some stuff. And if you can understand that stuff and support it, whether she be in her cycling years or she's entering perimenopause and then ending in menopause there, it's a roller coaster. It's like the freaking Wild West of hormones. And just, you know what? We need some love and support sometimes. And so I hear you. And if you started that young, there's a good chance that you went into perimenopause and menopause young, right? Because we only have so many eggs. We're born with the amount
Yeah.
of eggs that we're born with. And then when we're done, that's it. That's all we get. And
I know,
I'm
like
in the same
I've
boat.
I've had two children. I've one, and I have a stepdaughter, which her teen years was like giving birth, but whatever. But I have two children that I gave birth to, and um, I had them at 27 and third, was it 27? No, 23 and then 36 or something. Like I was like really far between, like 8 years apart. Put it that way. I can't do math. Okay. I have a master's degree, but I can't do math. So whatever it was, 8 years apart. And, but I had it kind of late, like, and I never got pregnant before. And, not that I didn't try, but, thank goodness that, you know what? God works in mysterious ways. He has a plan for you. And I was supposed to have the children the way I did, but like you said, like, oh, and then I did have my eggs checked and he's like, yeah, you don't got a lot of them is what the doctor told me when I was trying to get pregnant with Piper, my daughter. And, I was like, well, what do I do? And I did try some medication that like, some medicine that he says, oh, this could give you triplets or something. And like, try this. And I did for a little while. And then I was like, nah, I don't want to do that to myself. And I tried the old fashioned way, legs in the air kind of thing. And it
Yep.
worked finally.
Awesome. Awesome.
But I'm just saying that, like, yeah, like, everybody's different. Everybody is different. And every person, their body is telling them something different than someone else. And you can't always fit into the mold of what the doctor believes is this, that, and the other. And I think holistic, and my husband's a physical therapist. So, he believes in like working the body from the outside. And so, but I mean, he works at a hospital. So he's around, doctors and everything that are pushing meds and this and that. And then he's just getting you up and moving you around, and which is so important that when you get out of a surgery that you get moving. Like, don't stay if you're sick or, even when I have the flu, a lot of times, sometimes I'm like, I got to get up and start moving. Like my body's telling me like, work it off, like don't just lay around. I don't know.
Mhm.
I guess I'm going off on a tangent, but
That's okay.
I
As
just,
someone who
the
has
whole,
had many surgeries, yes, it's important to move around as soon as possible, but also to just if we're gonna like I don't know, wrap this in a bow, you know your body best, genuinely. So if you know there's something wrong, if you know there's some differences happening, some changes happening, if you know your mood slipping or anything like that, find a doctor who's going to help you. If the first one doesn't believe you, move on. Go to the next one. Go to find a different kind of practitioner. Go to a holistic medicine person. Go to a naturopath. Find someone who's going to help you because that's what I had to do. And even now, I mean medical gaslighting is such a thing for women. It's not even funny. And even now, so I'm 38 and I am entering perimenopause. I can tell because I'm so in tune with my hormones. I have to be. Every little nuance I notice. And so I can tell. Yeah, but it's normal for me again because there's not a lot of things that we can tie true genetics to. Lots of it's just lifestyle habits we see and adopt, but your amount of eggs can be attributed really closely genetically to your mom. And so if your mom went into menopause at a certain age, you can kind of gauge how you're looking. My mom was done full menopause at 42. And you can be in perimenopause for up to a decade before that. And a lot of women's hormones start declining at 35. So you can start noticing differences as early as 35. And so we don't really get taught that enough. And then we get told we're just like crazy for a while until all of a sudden you hit menopause at 50 and you're like, oh, I've been in perimenopause for a decade and no one told me.
so how is your pain level? Cause I mean, you're not cured. This is something you still have. And so, but you do holistic, like rituals every day. But I mean, do you start off like in pain and then those help subside it? Or I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
fix my brain. No, I haven't had any endo pains in years, years and years. Um,
Really?
yeah, so I think I just stay on top of it. I haven't
How was
had any relapse.
delivery? How was delivery? How was it when
Terrible.
you were pregnant
Yeah,
and
all
delivered?
bad. All not great. Pregnancy was hard, both of them. Deliveries did not go well. I was able to deliver both of my children. I didn't have to have a C-section or anything. I was close both times. But the time after, my body held on to a lot of the placenta both times. My body just likes to hold on to shit, I guess. And it just held on to my placenta both times. So I actually went septic both times because the pieces aren't supposed to stay there, right? So they get infected and they create like dead cells in your body, and all of a sudden you start going into sepsis. So it wasn't ideal. So I had to have surgery actually after both of them, a few days later after both of them, unfortunately, and that was hard, right? You have a brand new baby and
You just had a
things.
C-section.
No, I didn't. I didn't have to have a C-section.
No, but I'm
C-section.
saying you should have just had it though. You could have,
Oh,
then
I
they could have
know.
just taken.
I know, if you have a C-section, then they can just go in there and make sure it's all out, and that's so funny, the midwives, they were like, "So for your 3rd baby," I was like, "No, no. No, no." They're like, "I know, you just had your 2nd, but when the 3rd one, when you're ready." I'm like, "No, no, no, I'm good." They're giving me all
Yeah.
this advice, "Well,
I
we should
I gave
probably do this." I was like, "Nope, done. 2 happy, healthy babies, they're good. I'm good-ish. We're fine."
I had more because my mom had 4 kids, and I guess I just wish that my kids were maybe a little I wish they were a little closer in age, but that's not how God wanted it to happen. I had them very far apart, and so but if I had kids that were closer in age, I think they'd be closer as siblings, and they're not very close at all, either none of them. But I had my first child, my son, he was born very quickly on his due date, and I had an epidural. But my daughter, they misdiagnosed my dilation, didn't give me an epidural, and then tortured me for a long time. Then decided to take her via C-section, and she came out really horribly. From pushing for 3 hours, she had giant welts behind her ears. She had hematoma on her head that the NIC doctor thought she was dropped on her head because it was so red. And then they sent her away immediately for scans because they thought she had a tumor on her head. It was that crazy. And she had fingernail marks all over her head from the nurse doing this for like 3 hours,
Yeah.
and it was torture for me and for her. Literally, she came out, and I mean, the doctor's like, "What happened to her? Did they drop her?" They're like, "No, she was C-section, and it was just a thing." My poor little baby, but she's my little angel. Off topic. So I read a little bit about you before having you on, of course. So you believe in rebuilding one's self worth. Tell me a little bit about that, and why would people? Well, I know why people, but tell us the reason why people lose it in the first place.
I mean, lots of people think we're born with a certain amount of confidence and a certain amount of self belief, self worth. Self belief is self efficacy. It's what you believe you're capable of, how competent you believe you are, especially achieving things in the external world. Self worth is the opposite. It's all internal stuff, what we genuinely believe we're worthy of. And a lot of this stuff is unconscious because it sounds ridiculous out loud to say, I don't feel worthy of success. I don't feel worthy of love. I don't feel worthy of being healthy. That's a big one I see in the chronic illness space. They won't say it out loud, but there's a part of them that's built into their identity that they're meant to be sick and there's nothing they can do to help themselves. And again, that's painted with a broad spectrum. I know there's lots of illnesses out there that are hard to deal with and cannot be helped and only maintained. So I say that macro. But it's your identity. It's what you believe about yourself and how you deserve to be treated, how you deserve to spend your time. There's so much that goes into self-worth. And so, especially for all the women out there, learning to build your self-worth is one of the most important things that you can do because women typically only feel worthy from external sources, external validation. And we need worth to come from the inside. Is it okay to do things that make you feel worthy? Volunteering, being a good mom, being a good partner, anything like that. Yes, that's amazing if that feels good to you to get worth from that, but it needs to come it needs to come from the inside first. If it feels good on the inside and then it reflects outward, that's amazing. If it comes from the outside and that's the only way you get it inside, that's where we need to turn it around a little bit because most women are only seen as good women if they're a good daughter, a good wife, a good community member, a good pack member at school, mother, daughter, anything, sister. That makes a good woman. When in reality, we need to flip that narrative and start building worth from the inside out because that's where we're going to see a lot of change happen and create a lot more empowered women.
I know you could be a good mom, but then feel like I didn't handle this situation very well. I feel like sometimes, like for me, my daughter has a lot of health issues, tons of health issues, and currently she has a tumor that needs to be removed, and it's growing. It's like a fatty tumor, so I don't think it's anything. But um, uh, I'm having a hard time with the insurance, and so I'm trying to get her into UCLA, and so then I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's like I'm not calling like I should be on the phone, like first thing in the morning at 8 o'clock, trying to get all this stuff ironed out. But then I put everything else like I have work or I have this, and I'm trying to juggle 50 damn things. And at the end of the day, I'm like, crap, I should have done this today. I didn't do it. And it's been like a week where still every day I just feel like I should have done it. And I'm like, I'm such a bad mother. And then you beat yourself up on things, and it's like, I got to understand that, like, I'm busy, dude. I'm like super busy, and I do need to actually separate, or set aside time, not separate, but put aside time for the things that I need to do personally, because I'm just trying to do things for so many different people. And, sometimes you beat yourself up over things that are out of your control. And I think it's just an organizational thing with me. But what are some tools? Okay, so for me in this situation, I just need to write it down and say, but at this time, I'm taking care of this, and nothing else is going to step in my way. But what are some tools for other people that are like just beating themselves up over things, or they haven't even identified that they are losing their self-worth? Like, how do you identify it? And then, like, what are some tools that they can do to help them, like, I don't know, heal themselves, get better? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
It does, and I like that you brought up what you can control versus what you can't. That's a really big one. When we start hyperfixating on things that we can't control, we get really overwhelmed, scattered, and things very quickly. And so it's always important to have that moment of assessment, especially if you're spiraling about something. It's like, first thing, do I have control over this? Yes or no? Follow that trail. Yes? What can you do about it? No? Okay, how can I manage this within myself and how I'm feeling about it? Because I can't control it outside of myself. And the secret about what you can control is that it's actually very little. When you look at, we call it a target, just your circle of concern. If you picture a 3-layer target, the center circle is what you can control. And inside of it is actually just you, your beliefs, your thoughts, the things you say, do, those kind of things. Those are the things that are within your control. Everything else is in the next layer, either in your circle of influence, which you can influence people, but you can't control them. You can influence your household. You can't fully control it. There's so much that goes into that, unless you live alone. If you live alone, you have a lot more control over your environment than if you have variables of pets and kids and husbands and all those things. And then the external realm is everything else. Literally everything else. The circles that you have control and influence over are very small. Everything else is on the outside. The weather, politics, like all just so many things that weigh on us all the time. It's like there's really not much you can do. So, how can you learn to be okay with yourself and learn how to manage the stresses of these external things and then move forward in what you can control? If you're getting extremely overwhelmed by things you can't, you need to double down on the things you can. That's going to help you feel more safe, feel more regulated, feel more in control. If you double down on the things that you can do and can have control over. And so, even with the incident with the phone call, it's one of those things where we have to write it down, like you said. Again, I like to give 3 things. If you can have 3 most important tasks of the day, everything else is bonus. I think we like to start off with, okay, these are the 10 to 15 things I wanna do today, and we're overly optimistic always in what we can achieve in a day. And typically as humans, we're under in what, like, we believe less of ourselves in what we can achieve in a year, 2 years, 3 years. We underestimate that extremely, but yet we constantly overestimate what we can do in a day. And so I always recommend 3. Top 3 MITs, we call it most important tasks. And if that is at the top of your list, that's the thing you focus on first. You get up, you do whatever you need to do to start your morning, and you do not start anything else for anybody else until you get that one thing done, and then you can evaluate. And I know that that's very hard, but we have to also remember that we cannot do all things at once. Low self-worth shows up in women as people-pleasing, constantly doing for others instead of self, never giving self credit for the things that we do, which is immense all the time. All the things we're doing is wild, and we don't give ourselves credit for it because it's not elaborate and showboaty and, I don't know, Instagram worthy. What is that? But it's that. And so we beat ourselves up constantly, even though we're not giving ourselves the recognition. And that can be a really key sign of low self-worth. And so when we're trying to chase balance, that is something that kicks women in the teeth all the time. If I could just balance my work home life, if I could just balance my children, my husband, if I could just balance my meals with my workouts with nope. Balance is BS. Balance is genuinely BS. If you're chasing balance, you're never going to get there. Balance insinuates that we can be all things all at once. And we can't. We cannot do all things all at once. We cannot be all things all at once. We can't all the hats that we wear. We can't be all of them at once. Now, motherhood hat, it's kind of always on. But everything else, like right now, I'm working. I'm in my passion, my purpose, my contribution. I love going on podcasts for my belief of free value and contribution to the world. And so that is the hat I'm wearing right now. I am not 100% in motherhood right now. I'm not doing the dishes right now. I'm not doing laundry right now. Again, some things could be running. I guess the dishwasher's technically running. Again, I'm painting a picture. But I'm not volunteering somewhere right now. I'm not with my parents being a daughter right now. I am in this mode. I am in this hat right now. Now, other things, the household got some momentum earlier. My children have had a beautiful morning with me. They got momentum earlier, and I have flowed. I have been in harmony in motherhood. Now I'm out. In doing the housework. Now I'm out. Now I'm in this. And so, if we can trust and but start to believe in flow and harmony rather than balance, and give ourselves the grace and understanding that we need to flow in and out of these things, we cannot be all of them all at once, that feels better. It is a more empowered version, and it is a more self-worth version that brings a lot of grace. And then understanding that we can be better if we're focused on the one thing rather than constantly being scattered trying to balance 50 things.
Right. I mean, like the role of your mindset and like your emotions really play a huge part in like your physical healing. Like, if your mind is for you, like, okay, so you're someone that's, and I too, I mean, I don't tell everybody like my woes, but I mean, everybody's got something, but I mean, what as a girl having what you had, oh my lord, you bitch about your PMS and your cramps, but like what you had to go through is something else. I'm just saying. Um, but your mindset and your emotions really do have a play a part in your healing process, physically healing. Do you think that your spirituality too might play a little part? I mean, does that help with the healing portion?
I think it depends on
In
your relationship with it, but I do. I think any journey is mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual in some way. I really do.
Yeah.
You cannot
So I know a lot
tackle
of people.
physical health without a mental and
No,
emotional health part, for
like
sure.
I agree. I totally agree. Okay, so some people they think holistic, right, healing, and like my mother-in-law, she's a nurse. My sister is a nurse. My husband works in a hospital. I mean, like they're all like around doctors all the time. But so some people think holistic healing is like that voodoo, hoodoo, how would you define it? Like, can you just give me a good definition on how because obviously it's working. You are
Mhm.
a test case, like, it is working for you. So if you could define it for maybe somebody that feels like it's a little hokey pokey.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't I mean, you can go to holistic practitioners and stuff, but all they're doing by saying holistic is just means they're gonna try their best to look at you as a whole being. That's all it means. It's just
Okay, so like, right.
paint a picture of wholeness. So, like I said earlier, your internal environment, your external environment, how they all interact, you as a whole being rather than just one piece, one part of you. It's again, everything interacts with everything else. It's painting a more broad spectrum picture and piecing together all the puzzle pieces that is you, your environment, your internal environment, and coming together and creating a picture that is you. Like you said, we're all different, we're all individual. And so when you can piece together whatever your puzzle pieces are and look at them as a whole, that is when you can see some major change. So I had to do a lot in my external environment as far as cleaning up endocrine disrupting chemicals, things that were messing with my hormones, in my products, in my again the things we used in our home. I had to decrease stress. That also comes externally, right? Anything, persons, places, things, and ideas that increase stress. Stress tanks your hormones. It does. It's not good for us at all. I mean, yes, we're supposed to have a little bit of stress and we're supposed to flow in and out of it, but not live there. So externally, there's that.
Living
And
in
then, yeah, I get right. Again, that busyness, right? That busyness that we all wear as this badge. Oh, we almost need to take a step back from that. I think women take busyness on as a badge of honor. How many women do you ask, oh, how was your day? How was your weekend? Oh, it was so busy. I'm so busy. Kids are doing this. I'm doing this. Blah, 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 blah. It's like amazing. Okay. I would love to just hear sometimes, "Hey, how was your weekend?" Oh my gosh, it was so fulfilling. It was really nice.
I
We had
Netflix
some
all
downtime,
weekend.
right? We had some downtime, we got some stuff done around the house, checked off some boxes, which made me feel really good, decreased my overwhelm, and we just, XYZ. I would love to hear more of that, and I think that should be more the badge we're chasing.
Well, I just wanted to kind of ask the question just because I know we discussed it and we were talking about it, but I kind of wanted to ask the question just framed in that way so that people understand that, like, this is, like you said, it's the whole body, it's your external things that are happening around you, it's the stress in your life, it's a lot of different things. And maybe a holistic doctor will be able to help you define what's happening and why things are happening. And you don't always have to pop a pill, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
And again, you
I
can have a bit of a combination of both. Maybe your kind of condition needs a certain medication, but you can still support it through different vitamins, supplements, lifestyle practices. I mean, I use a lot of essential oils, a lot of herbs. I make a lot of teas. I do a lot of like yoga and stretching, and I'm really in tune with my cycle. So I make sure during certain parts of my cycle, I'm not overexerting myself because that stresses out our hormones. When it's time for me to have a lot of energy, that's when I schedule as much as possible. And so that I'm honoring my hormones that way. It's a whole picture, like I said, that was accumulated of things over time that I learned worked for me. And so again, the give yourself the gift of time and curiosity. Get curious, go mess
Yes.
around with different things and find what works for you and give yourself time and the things that you're doing time to work. Some of the things we're doing are healing us on such a deeper level than we could possibly ever superficially perceive. And so you have to give those things time. It's tackling stuff deeper within you than your superficial symptoms sometimes. You got to give it time.
You know, the funny thing is you're young, so your kids probably aren't at the age where they can, but I do a lot of when I'm spent at the end of the day and I know that I have to go cook dinner, I just don't have it in me to do it. I do take a time out and I say, fend for yourself. And so my kids are at the age where they're like, okay,
Mhm.
like they can do it. My husband can do it. And there's enough things in the house that you can make yourself something to eat. I always have, I mean, I swear I always say this, like if we were confined to our homes, I've got like 4 months worth of food, like in the freezer or in the pantry or in the fridge. We got enough to last us like a lifetime. So I'm going to pivot a little bit here. So you're a coach. Um, what does it mean to live? Because I think I heard this from you. What does it mean to live aligned with your potential?
Mm.
We're going to pivot to your coaching. Purpose, potential, and next level
I love
living.
this. I love this so much. And we
Okay.
can actually tie this to me helping anyone out there learn to build self-worth as well. Cause I feel like that's the through line of all of this is women's health and your mental emotional health is also really tied to self-worth. And so we can, before we go, I can give you step by steps, like what to do daily so that you can leave this podcast feeling like you have something you can implement right away. I think that's really, really important. So, aligning with your potential. Potential is what you make it, just like success. Success is subjective. It really is. There is no one version of success. When I start working with people, we paint the picture of what holistic success means to them: health, wealth, love, quality of life, those really important things that all lead to fulfillment. And we get to paint that picture of what that means to you. And then we get to dissect what's getting in the way of that. Is it the beliefs? Is it the values? The correlation between core beliefs, core values, and your core aspirations, so your goals, what you are shooting for, you're working towards your potential, is really fascinating. So you have this idea, you have this goal, you have this vision of where you want to go. Let's just actually use fitness. Let's use fitness because that's something that we can all relate to in some way, shape, or form, whether we have a good relationship with it, a hard relationship with it. We all kind of have our own little nuance with it, which I think, again, is okay. Everyone has their version of success, but this is something we can all paint a picture with. So if you have a goal of, let's say, working out every day, you want to start working out every day and you see something on Instagram that says every woman should be in the gym for an hour a day lifting heavy weights, 20, like every day of the week. And you're like, okay, that sounds great, random Instagram person. I'm going to do that. And then you realize, okay, deep down, You don't believe that it's possible. Now, you believe it's possible because you've seen it on Instagram, but do you believe it's possible for you? There's layers of belief. Do you believe it's possible for you? And then at what level? So if you look at that and be like, I 10 out of 10 believe I can do that. Most of us don't think that. Most of us are like, oh, I like maybe think like 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. I could maybe do that. And then the third layer of belief is, do I believe it's going to be worth it? Do I believe it's going to be worth it to do what it takes to get to the gym for at least an hour a day and lift heavy weights? For a lot of us, it's a no, actually. Some of us, it's a yes. So then it's going to be worth it. So then we need to build the belief. But for some of us, the worth it factor is a no. So we will constantly go against that. We actually deep down don't believe it's going to be worth it to do that thing. So we will always meet a ceiling there. So then we have to play around with the worth it factor. And then core values come into play. If you have a core value of spontaneity, variety, and freedom, let's say, you don't want to go to the gym every day for an hour and lift the same amount of weights. You're going to get tired of it really quickly. So now it's going against a core value. Whereas in reality, what we would do is dissect that, okay, you have a desire to work out or move your body every day. What if we brought it down to 20 minutes to start because you have yet to be consistent in working out for an hour every day? Let's drop it. Let's make it sustainable. Let's make it 20 minutes. And let's use the verbiage of, I am going to move my body in an aligned way every day for 20 minutes. And then you get to decide what that movement looks like. If you're feeling the weights that day, amazing. Go do that. In fact, if you struggle to get to the gym, let's start at home. Let's start at home. Go grab some 1, 2s, and 3-pound weights and let's build some strength. And we'll do it for 20 minutes a day. You don't feel like weights that day? Maybe you're right before your period. Maybe it's during your period. We shouldn't be lifting heavy weights during our period. We need to hit the mat, do some stretching, go for a light walk. There.
Walk the
That
dog.
Walk the dog. Let's create, especially for women, it's so important that we honor our cycle in this and trust that and understand that we only have certain amounts of energy during certain seasons of our cycle. And the other half, we feel like a potato and it's really hard to get things done, genuinely. So we need to honor that as well. And so let's say, okay, yes, let's drop it to 20 minutes, move your body in an aligned way. How do you feel that day? How does it fit into your schedule? Yes, you wanted to do it in the morning. Oh, kids are sick, dog threw up, and now you have to go to work. Oh my gosh, absolutely not getting it done this morning. But because it's only 20 minutes and we've made it sustainable, maybe you can just go for a light walk in the evening or hit the mat and stretch that evening because your day went off the rails. If you can give yourself sustainability aligned with your core value of variety, let's say, you're going to be more successful in that goal. And so it's really, really important to dissect those things because it's fun to look at Instagram and look at social media and be like, oh, look at what this person is doing. That must be amazing. I would love to do that too. Maybe it's not the
Right.
same for you, and that's okay.
I always say that I use my podcast sometimes for my own personal like therapy because like I learn so much from my guests. I love it. But we built a gym in my garage. It's like, I don't know, 40 feet from me. And it's got like 5 different elliptical type. I mean, I have um anyways, treadmill, elliptical, rowing machine, bike, and something else, I forget. And then all the weights, Smith machine, all the things you need, big old mirror, all the things you do. And I'm not walking out there every day. Why? I don't understand why. I mean, I do know that I have a lot. I'm at my desk from like 6 to 4 and I barely get up to go get a coffee or something. And I'm like exhausted by the end of the day mentally. Like, I don't know why I'm just not going out there and just taking a 20-minute walk on the treadmill. I mean, it's right there. I don't, I don't know. I think I give myself every excuse and tired is one of them. And I am older. Like I just had my 52nd birthday on Saturday. So
Ah, happy
I'm 52.
birthday.
So, I am getting older. So, um, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know all the excuses. And then sometimes I just forget. It's not even on my radar of things that are important to me on that day. But then I beat myself up for not doing it because it's right there. And then my husband, my mind, I think, he's out there working out or something. And in my mind, I do think this. I think he's probably out there thinking like, why isn't she out here coming out here with me? She's just sitting there watching the news or something, whatever. Like I always prep myself right before I start to make dinner. I give myself a minute where I put my feet up and I'm just like, relax, and, And I then to myself, I'm thinking that he's thinking like, why isn't she just out here with me? Like I'm out here, she can be out here. But then I got to get up and make dinner. But I don't know. I have every excuse. I love what you're saying though. Like break it down. You don't have to drive to the gym. You could walk to the store, or if they're close enough to a store, or you can walk for 10 minutes out and then turn around and come right back home. And whatever that look like, 20 minutes or less, or however that looks, you don't have to walk around the block if it's my block's really long. I live in the suburbs, but my block is really long. And it would take you about a half an hour to make that. It's just a lot. But I don't know. I kind of like how you broke it down. And I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe I
Nothing
need a personal coach.
wrong. Oh my goodness, there's something wrong. Let's break this down. So there is a component of self-belief and there's a component of self-worth there. The self-worth is the what's wrong with me, the oh my husband must be thinking this. Like that's where low self-worth can really get us in a tizzy, right?
'Cause
It's that
I'm a skinny girl in a fat girl body right now. Like I am really overweight, but I've always been thin. And also the other thing is too, they took out my thyroid. So I don't have a thyroid and I'm on like really high dosage of levothyroxine, like 300 milligrams, which those of you who take it know that that's super duper high. Because I guess I'm hypo and I'm hypo, you know, and I can't get it to fix right. So I just feel like I have a zero metabolism. So I try not to overeat, but it doesn't matter what I eat because I still don't lose weight regardless. So I know that if I started working out, this is in my brain knows that if I started to move more, because I'm sitting in this chair all day, like for 12 hours, that if I got up and moved, that I would have more energy. I probably would lose weight and I probably would feel better about myself. I'd get rid of my second chin, all of that. And I would look prettier. I know that I'm prettier when I'm thinner. My face is a lot prettier when it's not as chubby. But I don't know what it is. I can't get myself to do it. And it's like right there. And now the weather's getting to be perfect where it's not hot, and I could go out there and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to challenge myself and I'm going to do it. I'm going to give myself 20 minutes a day, or maybe I'll just break it down. I'll do 20 minutes for a couple days.
Mhm.
Like, I'll try to do at least twice. And if I feel like a third time, then I will. And then I'll do that for like 2 weeks and then I'll try to bring it up to another. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll start
Mhm.
small, like you said.
Yeah. Let's take you through it. I would actually start smaller, genuinely. If you have yet to be
Okay.
able to do it, I would start at 10 minutes because
Okay.
all it is, because like you said, sometimes you just forget. And it's not that you forget, it's just that it's not ingrained into a habit or an identity yet. So that's okay. That makes
Right.
sense. That's so normal with anything, not even just fitness. If it's not on our radar, then it's not a part of our identity and it's not a part of our everyday. And so if it's something you want to do every day, I would pick an ideal time. And again, you don't have to stick to it because life life is very reactive, but pick an ideal time that if
Right.
you could hit it once in a while, that would be amazing. So again, there's belief and worth here. We're always going to meet the level of what we believe is possible for us, and we're always going to meet the level of our self-worth. And so for you, I would genuinely start smaller. I would do it for 10 minutes. I would. And I would do it, yes, in the house if you're not used to getting outside and getting up and moving. And I think if you can tie it to mobility and longevity, not just weight as well. So we want to build the identity of because I'm in this chair most of the time, I want to be able to have healthier, stronger joints and still be mobile into later years, 60s, 70s, 80s. Right? We want
Right.
long.
And I have a daughter that probably won't leave home. She'll probably be living with me forever. And I do need to be around for her. I had her late in life. So, like I said, I was like 36. She's 15 years old. And so, and she'll probably be living at home forever because she, I don't think she can live on her own, but so I need to be around for her.
Right? So let's
I
tie
can't
it
trust
to
my
something like that.
son.
Let's tie it to a little
Yeah.
something that's more meaningful than just weight loss. Yes, that can be a part of it, right? We can have those things and you never want to shame anyone for why they want to do something. If that's a part of it, that's a part of it. But how can we make it bigger? How can we make it deeper? And then what's really powerful is to get a streak going. So if you can do 10 minutes for a week, that's amazing. You celebrate that week. And then you're like, oh my gosh, am I going to not do this thing and break my 7-day streak? And then all of a sudden you have 14 days. And then, and the reason I can speak on this, Jessica, genuinely is because I could not move my body regularly for the life of me forever. I would go from 0 to 10 all the time and then convince myself that my body was too broken, too inflamed, too crappy to be fit. And so I would constantly go from 0, doing nothing, to like, oh, I need to do an hour a day of the perfect yoga, the weights, the this and this. And then all of a sudden my body would crumple and be like, this is a terrible idea. What are we doing? Inflammation, anger,
The
sore,
owie,
right?
the owie.
Yeah,
Ow,
such a
ow.
mistake. I needed permission. I needed permission to start small. And so my verbiage is I'm going to move my body for a half hour every day in an aligned way. And I'm going to give you these step by step things on how I've been able to do that for over 1,000 days. I have over 1,000 days, and I know that because I keep track of it every day. I have a streak going, and you're going to do this. You're going to say, okay, do you believe? So let's start really big. Do you believe it's possible to go from where you are now to working out in that gym beside you for an hour every day? Do you believe that's possible?
It's an hour every day, not right now. Not at
Not
this
right now.
not my mind.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right? That's
Okay.
a 10. We have no belief there. That's insane. Do you believe that it's possible to go into that gym and walk on the treadmill or whatever you feel you choose? Take your pick, allow yourself some spice, some variety, whatever speaks to you when you walk into that room, that's the thing you're going to do. Do you believe you could do that for 10 minutes a day?
Of course, yes.
Right?
I
Higher
mean, there's
belief.
a TV right there too. Like, I can watch
Even
TV
better.
while I do it.
Even better. Throw that thing on, whatever is gonna do it. So, right, see the difference in belief? "Oh, I could do that for 10 minutes." An hour, you're like, "Absolutely not." 10 minutes? Okay. Right? So the belief is higher there. Do you believe that it's possible? Yes, we just said that. Do you believe it's possible for you to go do those 10 minutes?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Do you believe it's gonna be worth it to start this habit?
Yeah, of course, yes. 100%.
Amazing. Amazing. So the next step in consistency, that first part was step 1, which is belief, assessing your belief in this area. Okay, we've done that. The next one is humility. We need to have humility to be able to say, you know what, I have never been able to do this consistently before. So you need to start from a place of accuracy. I could never do that. I was not humble in these beliefs at all. I was like, oh my gosh, of course, tomorrow, an hour, absolutely, here we go. No, that's absolutely inflated, delusional, not humble at all. Humility is no, I've never been able to do that. So I'm going to start really small. I'm going to start at 20 minutes. Okay. So we need humility to be able to do it in a sustainable way. We cannot do things consistently if it's not sustainable. So you going out there for an hour every day, even if you were able to do it for 3 days in a row, on that fourth day, you're going to be tired. You're going to be sore.
And my
Yeah,
body will not.
it's going to
Oh,
be
I
a
mean,
hard path.
yeah,
You're
I've
gonna
got
sit there and be
arthritis.
like, "See?" Yep, you're gonna sit there and be able to like, "See, this is not for me." You're gonna either blame yourself or blame the workout or whatever it is, just tell yourself that it's not for you. And in reality, you just didn't set yourself up for success with sustainability. We always wanna start small, especially in something we have really low belief in and low success in, and then build. So start with those 10 minutes, do it until you can get it in there every day and you've built into the identity. Do not up it from those 10 minutes. We want to keep it as sustainable as possible to keep it building into the identity and get it into a daily habit for your body to just go out there and do it for a few minutes. And genuinely, I actually urge you to stop at 10 minutes because once you're in there, it's going to be like, oh, I could do 15, I could do 20. Don't do 10.
Right, right.
Do 10.
Just do
Save that for later. And then when you have done 10 for, at least 2 weeks in a row, then up it to 15. Yeah, that's sustainable. The
okay.
next is you have to make it adaptable. We need adaptability and grace in there because, like I said, if you set that up for, I'm going to do it for 10 minutes every morning when I wake up before I hit the office chair, and then the day goes off the rails and you say, well, I missed this morning, so I guess I can't do it. Nope, you just got to make it adaptable. You got to make it something that you can do in the morning if you want to, but if you don't get to it, it has to be something that's easy enough to do at the end of your day or you're not going to get it done. So there has to be adaptability.
I totally agree with you. I just feel like at the end of the day is when I'm the most, like, shut
Yes.
down and tired.
Yes.
But in the morning, I'm also trying to get my daughter, I have to help her shower with her hair. I have to do a lot of things for her. And then, but so then I'm actually, I don't know, I'm giving me excuses again. I probably could, after I fix her lunch, go out there and start it every day and do that. And then because once I sit down at my desk, I'm diving into work and it's like, I'm lost. Like I
Mhm.
am just like answering emails, answering, da, da, da. And I don't even have to because I'm not even on the clock yet. I go to my desk, I'm not even on the clock till 7 and I start work like a 6. And
Oh, yeah. So
so
there's your window.
I
Your daughter's ready,
yeah, so I
yes,
can
out the door.
actually say yes, I can actually say once I get her started with her breakfast, I can actually go out there. I don't care if I'm even in my jammies because I'm going to shower. I always, not that I'm giving TMI up here, but I always shower closer to when closer to about 9 o'clock. Cause when I take my break from work for a little bit and I get, regroup myself. So this will be before my shower. I'm just telling you this because I'm going to do it. And so if I speak it into existence, it's happening, people.
And public
Just
accountability.
think, look
Accountability
at
is
this
important.
episode. Look at this episode, and then because this episode won't air until probably March, which is terrible. But by the time people start you'll see. I'll have a total transformation. Amy, you're changing my life.
Wow.
I
It's gonna
swear,
be
you're a
great.
good coach.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
a good coach. You
It's gonna be
are.
great. If you want me as an accountability buddy, message me genuinely. I would happily just see that message every day and be like, yes, amazing. You can send it to me like done, and I'll be like, yay. But again, so you have opportunity there. You can do it before you step into your office, like you said, because you don't actually have to start at 6. Or if for whatever reason chaos ensues and you're like, okay, I'm about to go take my shower, there's your 10 minutes. I'm not going to shower until I've done those
Right.
10 minutes. Then you do the 10
Yes.
and then you go shower. Right?
I know. I'm sorry that I'm like TMI all the time with my life, but I swear that if I speak it into existence, I'm going to do it. This is something I'm going to do. And it's funny that like my two best friends from high school, they're so amazing. They look so great. And I see them, my one friend, she does a lot of gym pictures and I'm like, damn, she looks better now than she did in high school. And I'm like, what? And the funny thing is I used to run cross country and track and I used to run long distance. Like it's on my bucket list. First of all, I wrote a book called Bucket List from a Redneck Girl, and it's on my bucket list to run a marathon. So that is that in line with being here for my daughter for a long time. Running a marathon, it's on my list of things. It's my to-do list. I'm going to start here 10 minutes a day. And in 2 years, Amy, I'm going to have you back on and I'm going to be ready for a marathon. I swear. I
Oh my
swear.
gosh, I love that. But that's the humility right there. Being humble is saying, I'm going to start at 10 minutes and build up to the marathon. Being arrogant and not humble is, I'm going to run a marathon next month, whether it kills me or not.
Right.
No, what a mistake. What a mistake. Don't do that.
Right.
Right? 2 years. Absolutely.
Out.
Right? Absolutely. And
Yeah.
genuinely get some accountability. Alan was mine. Alan built this out for me. Genuinely. He was the person who said, Amy, you have never been given permission to start small. And I'm going to give that to you. And that's how I've been able to build into what I have built into as far as being consistent with fitness. And so the last one, again, adaptability, give yourself grace. If you couldn't do it in the morning, how can you pivot and get it done even at 30% in the evening? How can you half-ass it and check the box genuinely? Because at this point, building it as a habit and building it into the identity, it's more about checking the box rather than doing it perfectly. The goal is to do it
Right.
every day and understanding that it's going to look different every day. Some days you're going to be out there, you're going to give it 100% for those 10 minutes. You're like, yeah. Other times you are going to walk at a snail's pace because it sucks. And maybe it's in the evening and you haven't gotten it done yet, but you're tired. But it's more important to give it 30% effort and get it done and check the box. Which brings us to number 5 of consistency is just grit. It's just grit. Sometimes it sucks. You have to get it done because you said you were going to. And what's really beautiful about that is if you really don't want to do it, but you get it done anyways, you build self-belief. You double down on the belief in yourself and that it's possible. And then the cycle starts again. That belief comes up, that humility is still there. You're going to assess the sustainability by saying, do I still need to keep it at 10 or am I going to bump it to 15? Am I keeping it adaptable still? And do I need to grit it out sometimes? It's one of those things where you need to have an F my feelings moment. F my feelings. I'm tired. I'm ready to put my feet up and watch my show, but I said I was going to do this. It's only 10 minutes. I can go get it done. And then you're going to sit down and watch your show and feel really good about yourself and still get to do the things you want to do.
Right. Man, and as a coach, you hold your clients accountable for it's like they check in. It's like you hold them accountable for what they say they're going to do. Like
Yeah.
my son needs a life coach. I don't know, like if you do life coaching, but like my son, um, he also has autism. He has Asperger's, but he's super, super intelligent, really smart kid. Highly intelligent actually. but he's not motivated to do anything, and he's depressed. But he needs a life coach. Another, not mommy. Mommy can't help him because he does not listen to me for the life. But he needs some direction. And he tried college a little bit. He tried, but he's like 24 and he's not going anywhere. I mean, failure to launch is a thing for my
Yeah.
son. So he needs somebody to hold him accountable, and he needs to do it. But I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like with
It's
this one.
hard. It's
I'm sure
hard to come from
I
mom.
know. I'm thinking that the Gen Zers, a lot of them, I mean, if you have the ability to help people like the way you are with coaching, I'm thinking that that's going to be the new wave of the future, because a lot of these kids are going to need it
Mhm.
the way they are. I really, truly, truly believe that. Okay. I think that I don't want to take much more of your time, because I know that I've been chewing your ear off and taking you in all many different directions in this
I love it.
podcast.
Genuinely, I love it.
I've been I just been enjoying asking you questions and picking your brain, and like, you're just a gem, I swear. Okay. So, if somebody is interested in maybe learning a little bit more, because I'm sure that I didn't touch on all the real important topics of next level university and your coaching, and we didn't even get into your MC and wiki. Like, don't you MC? You MC, like, you basically bring, like, for when you guys are doing presentations or something at like, say, a college or somewhere, you're the one that introduces them, and you go out there and, like, what is that like?
Oh
Tell me
my
a little
god.
bit. Can I ask you that?
So, yeah, absolutely. So, it's actually how I got started with the guys. It's how I got started at Next Level University. So, I was working we'll paint a picture here. I was a massage therapist working in my practice. I started getting asked to speak at wellness events and things, especially women's health wellness events, because I one had a practice around pre and postnatal care and helping pelvic balance for women, and I was obviously healing my own cycle and became pain free. And so I got asked to start speaking at these natural wellness events. I had a presentation called "Holistic Healing for Your Hormones," and I started a podcast myself as well with a girlfriend, and we called it The Evolution of Mom. And we did not want to produce, edit, do any of that to the podcast. That was my one stipulation. I don't want to take on any tech, but I love to talk. Let me show up and talk,
Yeah.
find someone to do the tech. And we had already been listening to Kevin and Alan on Next Level University, and they produce podcasts as well. And our podcast coach, our group coaching is the Podcast Accelerator program. We do 12 weeks. Of the first 4 weeks, grow yourself, because again, self belief, self worth, growing yourself, and self awareness is going to take you as far as you want, or not, if you're hitting that level of that. So we grow yourself first, grow your podcast for the next 4 weeks, grow your business, monetize, scale for the last 4 weeks. And so I help with that now, but again, painting a picture. So I was coaching with Kevin for podcasting. They were producing the show. I was working with Alan little bits here and there, and I asked him to review one of my keynotes that I got to do. I said, "Hey, I love that you're a speaker. I want to get better. Would you review one of my speeches that I did?" He said, "Absolutely." And he did, and he was really impressed, thought I did a good job. And so we stayed connected. I was again a part of their community. We do free book club and things, and I was a part of that. I loved that so much. And then I launched my own program called the Peaceful Period Project, group coaching, women's coaching, health. I was teaching them about their cycles and things. And I had moved across the country during that launch. And I gave up my podcast before the move, telling myself I would pick it back up. I didn't. And launched my program. So Alan was helping me with that, right? And then he was like, "You know what? Would you ever be interested in coming and emceeing for us at our live event? We do it once a year. We would love to have you come down, MC for us, and see where that takes us." So I did. I went down, did the live event for them, was their MC, and it just proliferated from there. I didn't pick up my podcast because everything I got asked to do and be a part of within NLU was just so fulfilling, so meaningful, that I didn't feel the need to do it. And now that I get to go on as a guest on podcasts, that itch is really scratched. It's amazing to be able to come on here and talk to heart-driven people like you. It's my favorite. And so then I just literally integrated myself into everything that this company offered. I became director of group coaching. So the three of us run that together, and I get to be the facilitator of that. I have my own coaching program through them, my own coaching progress or practice. I help run Facebook groups as well. Like I do behind the scenes works and things. Alan calls me the facilitator of good experiences. So anywhere I can facilitate a good experience, I'm involved. And so that's how that happened. And now we do the live event, all three of us. Not only am I the MC throughout the day, but I get a section to actually speak myself. So I'm a speaker and an MC at that event as well. And I just get to hang out with these guys doing great stuff. And it's my favorite.
That's awesome. I mean, you are getting, being a guest on podcasts, you get to do all the things you were said you liked, except for the editing and the technical part of it. And so that's, like you said, you're scratching that itch. I do everything. So I'm doing it all. But I enjoy the technical part of it. I was a photographer. I did photography for a little while, and I in high school, I went around with it. I say this because this is how big the
The
video
cameras were.
cameras were back in the day. Yes. So I went around my senior year and I videotaped my whole entire senior year, pretty much all the fun parts. And I put it together in a video, and it's on my YouTube. I think anybody can go look at it. It's Lyndhurst High School video yearbook, 1991. And it's really long. I made it like an hour and 45 minutes, but it was like our whole, senior class smushed into like, I wanted to get a little bit of everybody, and it was so fun. I put it to all the music that we had back in that year, 1991. But I always loved the video part of it. And so it's funny that I started this podcast because I actually enjoy sitting. It's like a hobby, but I enjoy doing all of the editing part, and creative and putting the music in. And I created my own theme song for this podcast, which is I always air it at the end of the podcast. So people can listen to it. But it's just the fun. I really love doing this creative thing. And I know I turned it around on me, and we're really here for you.
No, I love that though. Again,
Anyway,
if that fills your cup in a certain way, then it's worth it. It is worth it. Where if
yeah,
it's not, if something is not worth it and it's keeping you from your most meaningful work, outsource it as soon as possible. Genuinely. It's going to save you a lot of stress, time. Again, you need to be able to typically invest. It typically takes some sort of monetary investment to be able to outsource things. So make sure you can are at that
right,
space. But if it fills you up, if you love doing the editing and all of that stuff, then it's absolutely worth it for you to do those things.
right.
Hmm.
And I save a coin. But any of you out there that think that you want to do a podcast and you have a good idea or a niche, or like like I know how to start a preschool from scratch, and I built it into $1 million business. I can teach that. If you have something that you are an expert in, whether it be making bows for your daughter's hair, I don't know. You want to start a podcast, you can do it, but then you don't have to do all the other part of it that is the hassle. Like you can do it hassle free, and you have services, right? Next Level University has services for that. So you can go to Next Level University, and you can just do the talking and they do all the walking part.
Yeah. And all of our packages come with Kevin, come with coaching. You're gonna meet Kevin. I know you are. If you've had Alan and I, you'll definitely have Kevin on. And Kevin's Mr. Podcast. He is, and he helps coach you. He actually does free calls. First call is always free with all three of us. If you want business, it's Alan. If you want more holistic personal development and success, it's me. If you want podcasting and being like speaking and podcasting and growing and monetizing a podcast or a YouTube channel, that's Kev.
Yeah, Kevin needs to come onto my channel right now. No, I'm just teasing.
You will. He will, because we always give feedback on the shows we're on. If Alan and I have been on and we say, yep, it's green, go, we'll make sure the third one gets on there.
And I told Alan he needs to, his beautiful girlfriend, he needs to lock it down right now. I said, you need to marry her right now. Stop waiting. I told him. And he starts laughing. I think I made him laugh a few times.
Good.
But Alan is special. He's a great guy. And I just really enjoyed our conversation today. And I know that people will get a lot out of it. And holistic doesn't need to meet for a lot of people that are like my age, that are I'm a Gen Xer. A lot of them are like, oh, that hokey pokey stuff. Holistic does not mean that. It just means like taking a picture of yourself and right? It just means looking at you as an individual and not lumping you into the other people out there that are going through the same thing. And, oh, you're in the 50 percentile and no, you're in your own percentile because you're an individual person and there's external things that are happening in your life and there's stress and there's things going on and it could be the climate you're living in. Who knows? There's all these external things that are happening. And that's what a holistic doctor will do. You know, they try to diagnose the whole picture and not just your illness. Did I get it right?
Yeah,
Am I
definitely.
close? Okay. Anyways, so where can people find you so they can, for all the things that you do and all your social media, tell me a little bit about where people can find you.
Yeah, I am just on Instagram and Facebook. I know there's so many other
Okay.
platforms out there. I can't even. I barely understand the two of them, genuinely doing my best. Like I said, tech is not my favorite, although I feel like I'm better than ever now. And so Instagram and Facebook, it's just at Amy Lenius. And we at NLU, we deeply believe in just that little bit of self-awareness every day. If you can just tap into you, who you are, what you like, what you don't like, your beliefs, your values, all of the things that we kind of touched on today, then you are doing something really special, not only for yourself, but the people around you to dive deeper into self-awareness. And so we have a private Facebook group. It's totally free. I run it. I'm in there every day posting a question for you, something for you that is going to bring up a little bit of self awareness. So if you are interested in growing just that little 0.1% every day, that is a free Facebook group. It's called Next Level Nation. Anyone can come be a part of it and just get that little taste of
Next
self
Level
awareness.
Nation. Next Level Nation. NATION, right? Nation. Okay. Next Level Nation. Okay. And then you also does Next Level have a website?
It does. Yeah. It's
Okay.
fully under construction right now, but it's there.
I was living that. My mind just got released and finally it's done. It's now launched, but man, for the longest time. So on my podcast, by the time this airs, we will have for this episode, if you go to you go to my website, justsaying.net and you click onto podcast, you scroll down, you look for the episode and then you click into Amy's name and it'll take you directly to their website. And also her email will be there and you can go to her Facebook page. You can go to Next Level Nation, and get a daily affirmation, right? Something like that.
Daily question, typically it's just a question around self-awareness. There's habits, I mean, sometimes they're really deep. Sometimes it's what do you prefer with your chocolate, caramel or peanut butter? Simple,
Oh
simple.
my God. Hello.
I know.
Like my favorite food. This is my problem. It's butter, salt, ice cream, chocolate. That's
Same.
my problem.
Same.
So
So much so that I've had to learn to make my own ice cream so that I can eat more of it
I
regularly.
swear, Bible, I have a Ninja, like one of those ice cream makers. I have one of them.
Same.
Oh, and then I have the kind that you can make sherbet too. Like you put your frozen veggies or frozen fruit in it and it spits it out into a sorbet. I have one of those too. I never use it. My mom, she's like my personal shopper. She's like, Jessica, you have to buy this. It's so cool for Piper because, my daughter, she won't eat anything with cream. She only eat things that are creamy. She won't have anything with texture in it. She has it's called aphid. It's like a eating disorder. And so my mom's like always trying to help me buy things that'll cream things up. So she's like, this is perfect for Piper. But anyways, I digress. But I really enjoyed our time and I know people will get a lot out of this episode. Go to Next Level University and do all the things that we said. Go like and subscribe and friend them all. I know Alan Lazaros also has a TikTok page. He's not growing it very fast though, because I saw it. I was like, it's
Yeah,
not very fast.
TikTok's
You're
very
not growing
new
that fast.
for us. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very new. He
me too.
just
I just
started
started
that.
it like 2 months ago.
Kevin's been on there a little longer. They're like, "Amy, you gonna do it?" I'm like, "No, man, I can barely manage Instagram. What are we doing?" I think
I
they're gonna
never,
convince
I,
me to get a LinkedIn. I think that's as far as I'm going to expand. How many things do we need? Oh my gosh, it'll be Instagram, Facebook. I'll eventually have a LinkedIn
okay.
when someone helps me.
I have a LinkedIn, and I have like 8,500 followers already. But when I was in college, I was sitting in class when I should be listening. I was like, friend, 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 friend. And then they would come back and they'd go, accept, accept, accept. And so I would friend all day long. And I grew to like 6,000 while I was sitting in like economics. I don't remember, but it
Amazing.
was something. And but then by the time I got into like looking for jobs, I used it. It really is a good tool. LinkedIn is, if you're looking for a position.
That's amazing.
I hate, it's, yeah, it is. It's really good. I think that's one of the places I found, because I'm in broadcast media. I work in broadcast media. I'm not the talent, by the way. I'm like the person that does all the stuff at the end of the day. It's like I'm at the low end of the totem pole, but I did find my job that way anyway. Anyways, I'm digressing and I'm trying to say goodbye, but I'm like, I can't stop talking to you. You're like an addiction. You're like chocolate.
Well, I love that. I love that
I'm
so much. If you want to ever have me back for a part two, we can do that anytime. I would love that.
well, part two will be me, 100-pound slider. Let's go there. Because it's not that I'm doing it for my weight, but I'm doing it for longevity and I want to run a marathon. It's on my bucket list. So I'll have you back at about this time next year, if
Perfect.
that's okay.
Perfect. Keep me posted along the way.
Thank, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I do appreciate you. And we'll see you in about a year.
Yeah, sounds amazing. Thank you so much for having me. This is genuinely why we love doing this, is connecting with people like you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye, everybody. Take care.
Gather around when the sun dips low, talking about the days we used to know. VCR tapes and dial-up tones, raising kids living with achy bones. Leather jackets and big hair days, now it's carpool lines and PTA. Neon dreams turn into schoolyard fights, but our hearts glow in retro nights. We are Gen X, living both worlds. From cassette set tapes to a digital world. Parenting now with a nod to the past. The retro love we know will last. We are Gen X, living both worlds. From cassette tapes to a digital world. Parenting now with a nod to the past. The retro love we know will last. We dance to the beats of the boombox sound. Now bedtime stories echo all around. But deep inside we're the mixtape kings, still fighting life with arcade dreams. Feeding families with a pizza slice, telling tales with a side of advice, laughing at the way